All right, it's the morning after in Mexico City. 49ers 38, Cardinals 10. I'm on a quick walk to breakfast, so we're going to do a shorter show, and then we're going to do a longer show from back in the hotel room. But I have to sit down. I have to start crunching some of the numbers, watching a little bit more of the tape. I was up until 3:30 or 4 last night, getting a head start on that. And let me just tell you this. Guess what the 49ers combined score against opponents is over the second half of the past 3 games? The answer to that question is 49ers 54, their opponents 0. Again, 54-0. The 49ers have outscored their opponents in the second half of the past 3 games. That's against the Rams, it's against the Chargers, and that was last night against the Arizona Cardinals. That is the sign of a Super Bowl contender, if there ever was one, because you got to make defensive adjustments to be able to shut teams out in the second half. 49ers are doing that. Nick Bosa has been blown away by what D'Amico Ryans has been able to do as far as dialing up the right plays in the second half. And then B, you have to score points. And the 49ers are punching it in. The 49ers are scoring points. That offense, yesterday you saw 38 combined points for the 49ers. Everybody was talking about, oh, you got to score 30. You have to get to 30. It's not good enough until you score 30. Well, there you had it. They scored 38. They had the efficiency of a top 3 unit before yesterday, but they didn't have the point production. They were getting close. Ever since picking up Christian McCaffrey, they were at like 25 points per game. But now the 49ers put up the 38 that we see can happen when they go 2 for 2, perfect in the red zone, when they again don't turn the ball over, when they add first and second down efficiency onto that third down efficiency. They've got the quarterback to go far. Jimmy Garoppolo's playing at an elite level right now. They've got a defense that is only getting better as games progress. And even that special teams, they're pinning punts back inside the 5-yard line. Robbie Gould is a really good kicker. I mean, they have all 3 phases of the game. The 49ers are really, really dangerous. I looked at the team tier charts this morning here in Mexico City, and the 49ers are just one more dominant performance shy of the first tier in football, which they would share with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, teams like that. And that speaks to the run that this team has been on here over the past few weeks. It's been building, all the way to the point where I feel that you saw the finished product yesterday, what the 49ers want the finished product to look like. Now, the good news for them and for their fans is that you still have Jimmy Garoppolo, Deebo Samuel, guys on offense talking about leaving meat on the bone. They still think there was yardage to be had, and hey, I guess Juwan Jennings, he tripped, right? But I think that Juwan Jennings on that first play, he got shoved. No defensive pass interference. That would have been a perfect bomb from Garoppolo to Jennings to gain more yardage. Brandon Ayuk slipped a little bit later on. Spencer Burford had a holding penalty that was costly right before that slip. So yes, the 49ers weren't perfect, but 38 points in the NFL in a day and age where it's really, really hard to score, right? Offense is down this year. 38 points is going to get it done every single week, except for when your defense is historically bad against the Chiefs. But we'll talk about that at another time. The 49ers defense playing a lot better than they did back in week 8. I think that from a big picture point of view, everybody freaks out over individual games in September and October, but it's about how you round into form in November into December so you can have a formula that takes care of business in January and can hopefully take you even beyond that. I have doubts about the formula of a team like the Philadelphia Eagles. Their run defense, I get it. They picked up Ndamukong Suh. That makes them better. The 49ers wanted him too. But the Eagles' run defense has not been great this year. They rank number 28 DVOA. The Eagles haven't been good at short pass defense. Guess what wins games coming into January? The run game, run defense, the short pass game, and short pass defense. That's what's sustainable once January hits, once those adjustments are all made, once the weather takes over, right? You're going to have colder weather as the season goes along. All of that stuff is what constitutes the staple of a championship winning team. And the 49ers are showing all of that right now. And they didn't show it in week 3, right? They had a terrible game in week 3 against Denver. They didn't show it in week 8 defensively against Kansas City. But if they're starting to put together these types of performances right now in late November, moving into December, with a lot of interesting tests coming up, that is a two-way team that can stretch its success past the regular season, deep into January, and potentially into February. So that's what last night meant. It meant the big picture. It meant that the 49ers can win in multiple different ways, and they will win in multiple different ways when the challenge presents itself. 6-man fronts from Arizona, 49ers didn't care. They passed on 14 of 15 downs. That was monumental in the larger scheme of things, because we always talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan and the trust or the lack thereof between the two. Well, he certainly trusts him now, passing on 14 of 15 downs to set up the run. 14 and 15 downs passes, 7 of 8 downs leaving the half runs, and both worked. Shows you how versatile the 49ers are and how hopeful they can be after this game moving forward into the rest of this season. Now, final thought, I'm gonna go to breakfast here in Mexico City to this spot right behind me. I looked it up on Yelp, so we'll check it out. I'll walk right near here. Let's take a look at it. We're in the Polanco neighborhood. I got one more thought, then we'll wrap it up. Hopefully this place is good. They look good. They've got all these cool little street side dining spots, and I decided to not fly out till 5:30 today to enjoy the city a little bit more. But this is gonna be the breakfast spot. I mean, it looks awesome. They got a salmon omelet. Oh man, it's gonna be delicious. Let's wrap up though, the 49ers thought here. When you look at the schedule moving forward, you see obviously a very winnable game against the Saints next Sunday. But then you see the Miami Dolphins. That's going to be tough, right? Miami Dolphins, that's going to be, they're playing top-level offense. That's going to really strain the 49ers defense at a way that maybe week 8 against the Chiefs strained them. So we'll get to see how much progress from all those injuries the 49ers made. You also have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looming. We know that they can defend. We know that this 49ers offense has a ton of weapons, but they're going to be constantly tested by some of these teams that play better defense. And then obviously you have the Seattle Seahawks. Probably the biggest takeaway right now, like overarching picture, because we are always trying to look at this within the context of what the 49ers need to do over the course of an entire season, is that the 49ers are now back in first place in the NFC West. And they play the Seattle Seahawks after this flurry, after the Saints at home, after the Dolphins at home, after the Bucs at home. It's off to Seattle on December 15th. Those division games are the most important of all. If you could keep on winning the NFC West, and the 49ers are 4-0 there this year with 2 to play, keep on winning those division games, you'll probably be all right. And it's all lining up to be a fun one in Seattle on December 15th, especially given the way that the 49ers are dominating right now. All right, that's the early morning breakfast check-in here from Mexico City. Like the video, sub to the channel. I'm about to go eat, and then I'll be back with you for much more content. Take care, everybody.